Two of the most powerful ships on Earth sailed toward the edge of the map, carrying 129 men into the unknown. Their mission? To find the Northwest Passage, a shortcut that would change the world forever. But history had other plans. By July, they were seen by a whaling ship. It was the last time any European would see these 129 men alive. Winter arrived early. The ice closed in like a giant white trap, locking the ships in its frozen jaws for the next 18 months. But the enemy wasn't just the cold, it was the food. Their survival tins were sealed with lead, slowly poisoning their blood and minds. Lead poisoning brings paranoia and hallucinations.
Don't trust him.
In the darkness of the Arctic winter, the men began to fear each other. In June 1847, Sir John Franklin died. The expedition lost its leader just as the situation became desperate. April 1848. The ships were deserted. 105 survivors began a 1,000-mile walk across the ice toward a rescue that would never come. They called it the Death March. They were dragging iron-strapped boats weighing 3,000 pounds over jagged, broken ice. Local Inuit hunters saw them, thin, blackened faces, dragging boats across dry land. They tried to help, but the sailors were beyond saving. They dropped their heavy gear block by block. Valuable gold and silver coins were left in the snow, worthless against the brutal cold. Silence here was absolute. No birds, no wind-rustling leaves, just the sound of their own shallow breathing and failing hearts. Frostbite didn't ask for permission. It stole the warmth from their bodies while they still walked. Every few miles, another man fell. Too weak to dig graves, their bodies were left behind to become monuments for the ice. Extreme cold and lead poisoning breed madness. Men began hearing voices in the wind, whispering secrets from a world they left behind. Their boots disintegrated. They wrapped their freezing feet in flannel rags and scraps of naval uniforms as they... What happened next was a secret buried for 150 years. To survive another day, the men of the Royal Navy were forced to commit the ultimate taboo. They passed the point of no return. Ahead lay 100 miles of frozen wilderness, and behind them lay only ice and death. Modern science confirmed the horror. Cut marks on recovered bones proved that these men didn't just die, they were consumed by their own brothers. The ships themselves vanished into the deep, taking their secrets with them. For over a century, they remained ghost stories, until the sea finally gave them up. Their minds were failing. Mirage and madness made them see ghost ships on the horizon. They were chasing fantasies, while their bodies were shutting down. Crozier was now in command of a walking graveyard. 105 men, no food, 900 miles of ice. He was leading them to a massacre. The Arctic silence is absolute. It weighs on you until you scream just to hear a sound. But here, in 1859, searchers found it. A boat on a sledge. Inside were 2 skeletons, 2 loaded muskets. They died waiting for a fight that never came.
The lead in their blood was a slow fire in their brains. As core temperatures collapsed, severe hypothermia triggered a terrifying neurological response, a phenomenon known as paradoxical undressing.
The river was supposed to be their salvation, but it was a wall of black water and crushing ice. They had no strength left to cross the last barrier. The cruelest rule of the Arctic: if you fall, you stay. No one had the strength to carry a brother. To look back was to invite death to take you too. The final camp. Extreme isolation had stripped away their humanity. In the end, they were no longer sailors of the Queen. One by one, the lights went out. No grand battles, no final speeches, just the soft fall of snow on cold skin, burying the 129 forever. When the truth reached London, it broke the Victorian heart. They refused to believe their heroes could turn into monsters. But the bones did not lie.
Refused to let them die. She spent her fortune sending ship after ship to find her husband, creating a legend that refused to fade.
Decades turned into a century. The Franklin expedition became the ultimate cold case, a ghost story told to sailors to remind them of the ocean's teeth. In 1984, the ice finally shared a secret. Scientists traveled to Beechey Island to exhume the bodies of the first 3 men who fell.
What they found was terrifying. John Torrington looked like he had died yesterday. After 138 years, he was still staring back. He was staring back at the world that forgot him.
The autopsy revealed a lethal truth. Their hair contained lead levels hundreds of times higher than normal. The very food meant to save them had destroyed their minds. But the biggest mystery remained. Where were the ships? How could 2 massive vessels disappear without leaving a single piece of wood on the surface? September 2014. A remotely operated vehicle detects a massive structure 11 meters below the surface. HMS Erebus had finally been found. It was a time capsule. The cold, dark water had acted as a freezer, keeping the ship's interior exactly as it was, the day the last man walked off.
2 years later, the HMS Terror was found in even better condition. It sat upright, as if waiting for a crew that would never return from the ice.
We found the ships. We found the bones. But the final hours of the last survivor remain the Arctic's most guarded secret. Imagine being the last one, the final soul of 129, standing alone in a world of white, surrounded by the ghosts of your brothers. In those final moments, did the mind find peace? Or did the lead-induced madness turn the silence into a choir of screams? The Arctic does not hate. It does not care. To the ice, the Franklin expedition was just a moment of warmth that was quickly extinguished. They brought the luxuries of London to the gates of hell. Their silver and their pride perished with them.
Today, DNA technology is giving these nameless bones their identities back. Descendants are finally learning where their ancestors fell.
The Franklin expedition has become a permanent scar on our collective memory, a story of ambition, failure, and the terrifying power of nature. As the ice melts, more secrets will surface, but the warning remains. There are some places on this earth where humans were never meant to stay. They left as heroes of an empire. They returned as ghosts of the ice. May the 129 men of the Franklin expedition finally find the peace they never found in life.
History is full of stories that were meant to be forgotten. We are here to make sure they are heard. This was Silent Tales UK.
If you survived this journey, subscribe and join the search for the truth. Click here to explore another mystery that the world tried to hide.